I'm Lisa Marie, and welcome to my channel, Living My Best Life.
If this is your first time here, thank you so much for being here. And to all of my subscribers, you are the best. Let's get started. DIY number 1. For this DIY, I'm going to take a couple of those little signs from Dollar Tree. They're kind of like a rectangle box with only 3 sides, and then 2 of the Christmas trees that are wooden on stakes, and then the Christmas tree that's all wrapped up in tinsel on the plastic frame. I'm going to sand off the glitter on the wooden Christmas trees. There wasn't too much on there. I'm going to use my little LADYBUG vacuum to clean it up, and I'll put a link in the description for that. And now if you just cut once at the bottom, it's pretty easy to unravel the tinsel on this one tree. I'm going to paint the tops where the words are of all the boxes with plaster color, Waverly chalk paint. I'm going to use my little tin snips and cut off the Christmas tree little stars, because this is going to be more of a wintry type of a DIY than a specifically Christmas one, because I'm starting to transition what I make into winter decor now that Christmas is almost here. And I'm painting the front and back of those with the plaster. This video is a special collaboration. It's called Craft Your Christmas Stash Challenge. I challenged myself and these 3 ladies to make 3 Christmassy type crafts or winter crafts without buying anything new and just using their stash. The 3 ladies who are joining me are Antoinette from Simple Yet Chic, Nadia from DIYs with Nadia, and Jenny from Lovely Moments Creating. All of their channel links will be in the description, as well as a link to the playlist with their videos also doing the same challenge. They're extremely talented and very sweet people. I hope you will go and watch their videos and let them know that Lisa Marie said hi. The next thing I'm going to do is use a little, I don't know what you call that thing. Anyway, this tool that took off the piece of the stem that was stuck. And now I'm painting the trees the Waverly chalk paint in plaster color. Once everything dried, I put some Mod Podge on the trees, and I'm using this really cute tissue paper. It's like an interesting kind of a plaid or argyle pattern, which I really love, and I did it at an angle. And then I put a little saran wrap over it and then used my brayer that just helps get some of the wrinkles out. I actually didn't mind on these DIYs today if I had a little bit of wrinkles. Kind of thought it added a little character. It also made things easier, so you don't have to be so perfect. Now I'm just trimming around the edges once it dried, and so you can see the outline of the tree. And of course, I'm going to do this to both of my trees. And I'm actually just using the little teeny scissors you can get at Dollar Tree. They're perfect for this kind of cutting in little spaces. And now we're moving on to the plastic tree that had the tinsel on it. I'm using my little wire cutters to get all those little notches off. They come off really easily. And once those are off, I am going to use one of the gray and white mop heads you get at Dollar Tree. And if you cut from the very top, they're kind of doubled around. So when you cut from the top, you'll be able to loosen them all, and then you'll have long strands. I end up needing a few more than I originally cut, but I just went ahead and cut some more because there was still some left on the mop head. Now I'm going to hot glue these around this tree. Around the very bottom, I just wrapped it around, but when I get to the actual tree part, I'm going to go like weaving, so kind of like in and out until I cover the entire thing. So it took a while, so I'm not going to show you the whole thing. I'm going to fast forward through it, but you get the idea. Here's what it looks like once I've finished weaving in and out. Now, I'm going to go back to those signs, and I decided I needed a third one, so I quickly painted the top of that in the plaster, let it dry, and then I added the ink-colored paint to the top, let it dry, and sanded it off on the edges and the top to make it a little bit distressed. Now I'm figuring out the placement, where I'm going to put them. So I put the mop head tree between the back 2 boxes, and I'm going to put the other argyle-looking trees in the front 2 boxes, and I'm just hot gluing them right there until everything is nice and secure. got a little packet of snowflakes from Dollar Tree, and I decided I'm going to hot glue them to that very top piece where you see the dark colored paint. I wasn't sure at first, but that's where I ended up deciding to put them. I think they look really cute there. So that's what I did to embellish the boxes. The mop head tree was leaning a little bit, so I secured it in the back by tying it to itself and just kind of propping it up. And then I put some ribbon on the back and hot glued them all together so they'd stand nice and tall. And I love them. What do you guys think? I think it came out really cute. And that Argyle tissue paper is kind of the start of a little vignette for me here. I'd love for you to join me on my channel by hitting that subscribe button and turning on the notification bell so you'll always know when I have a new video. I do all kinds of DIYs, gardening in the summer. If you enjoy my video, please hit the like button and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. That helps my channel so much and I do appreciate it. DIY number 2. So this DIY, now part of a vignette, is so easy, you guys. I've got these LED candles that I already had at my house. They were a little dusty, so I cleaned them with some rubbing alcohol. I had purchased these cute little Santa jacket napkins with the buffalo check, but never used them for anything. And then I had some other leftover tissue paper, including that Argyle pattern. So what I'm going to do is on the napkin, it's 2 ply. So I'm removing the second ply because you don't want to use both. And I'm just figuring out how I'm going to put this on the candle so I can cut out a piece that would be the right size. So now I have figured that out, and that one is kind of good to go. And then I'm going to paint some of that plaster color only underneath where I'm going to be using tissue paper that has any kind of white on it. And the reason I'm doing that is otherwise it kind of takes on the color of whatever it is you are Mod Podging it to. So the silver and white one, I have to paint that whole thing with the plaster color. And the Argyle one, I felt like I needed to paint the whole thing. But on the Santa jacket one, I just did the front and the back stripe, which is going to be like where his buttons are. So I had painted them, then I used some Mod Podge, and I'm just rolling the candles onto the pieces that I pre-cut, and then I'm going to add Mod Podge to the outside as well. And I decided again not to worry too much about wrinkles because I kind of like the way it looked in these particular cases. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm just finishing them all up so that they can dry, and then I'll be able to trim the top and the bottom and make them look really cute. And I am so happy with how they turned out. Look how cute they are. I have this little string light of little snowflakes, and I put a couple inside each candle as I strung it across. It's like a garland, and they look so cute. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love it. And now it's gonna go really well with the trees too, so that's gonna be so much fun. Let me know what you think in the comments. I just wanted to let everyone know that I am on social media. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. Same name, Living My Best Life with Lisa Marie, and I hope to see you over there. And last but not least, DIY number 3. So now this last DIY is using a gift bag from Dollar Tree, that same Argyle tissue paper, and some paint stir sticks that I got a 10-pack at Lowe's for very inexpensive, which I already had. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to figure out how many pieces I need to make a frame. Now make sure you don't use the ruler side unless that's the look you're going for. And then I ordered these miter shears on Amazon, which are amazing. This is my first time to use them. I highly recommend it. I'll definitely put the link down in the description. And I'm going to cut them to size. I also have this lath or shims that I got at Lowe's as well, and I'm going to use those to make a little like kind of a palette board. And so I'm just placing those over the back of the picture so I can figure out how big to make it. In the past I've made a sign with a gift bag where I made it look like wood pallets, but this time I thought I'd actually use them, and then I'll cut little strips and I will glue them onto the little palette pieces. You can see what I'm doing. I'm tracing the lines in between so I know how big to cut the strips. I still have to do some trimming when that part is done, but I wanted to at least have something to work with. And then I'm actually going to use wood glue, and I'm going to put that right on the little wood palette strips, and then I will put my pieces of the gift bag right over that. And I'll use my brayer to roll over the top and make sure I have a good connection. It's kind of funny, the little ends started to roll up, but they're going to be covered by the actual frame, so I'm really not too concerned about that. I'm going to go in with a little blade and trim away any of the excess between the little palette boards. And now I'm measuring out the pieces of the stir sticks for my frame, and I have to cut a couple pieces to make the longer sides because they weren't quite long enough. So I just hot glue those pieces together. I'm going to paint both sides of my frame pieces with the plaster paint. And when it dries, I'm going to cut out the tissue paper, that argyle paper, for each one, and I'm going to put Mod Podge on them, and I'm going to lay my strips right over the top of each one. When it dries, I'm going to sand off the edges so it's a nice clean finish, and that's going to be the frame. I'm also going to add a coat of Mod Podge to the front of the picture just because I want to protect it. It has some rips and stuff on the side, which I did to make it look a little older, but I want to make sure it's kind of sealed. And then I'm going to go in with some burnt umber paint by Apple Barrel, and I'm going to do some distressing and dry brushing where you put just a little bit on the brush, wipe most of it off, and then go over it. And I'm mostly going over those edges of each of the palette boards, and then just kind of distressing up the little white parts, you know, wherever they are, just to give the whole thing a more, you know, cohesive look. And I love the way that turns out. It's so cute. I'm going to use hot glue, and I'm going to attach the frame that I made, and then I'm going to go on the back with some more of those little like lath pieces of wood, and I'm going to help support the pieces that hung over the edge of the palette by cutting them to size and then hot gluing them on there, and that will create a very firm foundation for the frame that I made, so it won't bend off, or, you know, the hot glue decides to give in or something. And this is how it turned out. You guys, I really like this. I love the fact that that argyle tissue paper is the frame, and I love that it goes together with the other ones. And here's a final look at everything. So now you can see the whole vignette together and how nice they all look together. I'm really happy with how these turned out. I hope you guys like them. Please let me know in the comments. And you know, it's just so much fun to create things. I hope this inspires you to do the same. Don't forget to click the link for the playlist for this challenge down in my description box, and please visit all of the other ladies' channels and send them my love. Thank you so much for watching and being here. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and definitely give this video a like, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Until then, Merry Christmas!